Hi all, and thank you for joining us today. Today we will continue with the third and final part of our whole system approach webinar series of the iplanit system. The team behind the webinar today is our super experienced Lisa Jane. Lisa Jane joined Aspirico some 5 years ago. Lisa Jane was an iplanit user for the organization that she led in Wales before she came on board. I will not be far from wrong to say that she's one of our very most experienced iplanit consultants and users within the company. And as I mentioned before, my name is Thomas Dew, and I'm one of the client directors for Aspirico. The whole system approach webinar series has run since May this year and has really provided service providers with an in-depth insight into the iplanit software, the modules and the functionalities. If you did not participate in the first two webinars and are interested in learning more about the content that we covered, you can get in contact with us and we'll be able to send you a link to the recording. As you can see in webinar 1, we covered from intake to referral, from intake to referral of a person into their profile, how we link staff to people, how iplanit supports staff with their day-to-day tasks. We also showed you how iplanit funding modules is used for trading within the NDIS here in Australia, how we build NDIS services into the calendar, and how we indeed validate these services to say, yep, we absolutely did develop these services, we delivered these services, and we're good to go to claim for the fund. So how we then contact the NDIA for claiming. We also covered in series 1 was the use of the notes and logs across the whole of iplanit software. Quick overview of webinar 2. We concentrated on our electronic support plans, tracking and reviewing plans, goals, outcomes, setting goals, and how we build NDIS participants' goals into iplanit, personal goals as well throughout their support plans, their personal goals, and how iplanit has these amazing capabilities and functionalities to actually track these goals, to assign actions to these goals, so we don't actually get lost in in working on the goals. We cover how easy it is in iplanit have made it to assign risk to a support plan, to activities, to goals across the iplanit software, and how we as an organization are a lot better equipped in handling risks. All right, so for today, a very hot topic indeed. Today, Lisa Jane will demonstrate how the event and incident management module in iplanit works, and how we are able to configure this model to come up with the data information that we need when we report to the NDIS Quality and Safeguards Commission and over in New Zealand, the Ministry of Health. So we developed this module indeed for you guys to be equipped to report further should you have reportable incidents happening in your organization. We'll show you how iplanit will assist you in your organization's key performing indicators. So are you meeting your standards? And if so, yes, how are you going to evidence that you're meeting it? When it comes to auditing times, what data can you actually get out of iplanit to say, yep, we're meeting legislation, we absolutely on top of it, and here's actually our data. So Lisa Jane will show you how easy that's done in the iplanit software. The iplanit software has been delivering person-centered services for the past 10 years, and we've been operating under the values of Evita. And we often ask ourselves in our internal meetings and for the development that we attempt to do, we often ask ourselves, how do we demonstrate that we're delivering high quality, high value service to funders? How do we include our service users and their friends and families in the decision making around their support? How do we ensure that all team members are always on top of what they need to do, and managing the progression of goals and outcomes in this instance, incidents. How do we create a culture of accountability, ownership, based around person's goals and outcomes, based on a person's aspirations and wishes? So the values here for iplanit are, of Aspirico as a company, are very, very important, from the in-depth of the development team behind the development and the coding to the CEO and in our sales capacity. So yeah, we spend a lot of time on our values. We understand that not one size fits all. So the iplanit suite comes with 10 modules, and there's a further 10 optional modules. And this approach works extremely well for a few reasons, that you can select as many as little modules as you wish. You can stage your rollout, and it's really about what is that you're trying to achieve when using the iplanit software. Take the New Zealand market as an example. They're probably less likely to use the funding service delivery funding module compared to the Australian market here, where they absolutely must have that module built in so they can trade under the scheme. The events and incident management module is a very important module at the moment, providing a lot of good quality data. Today you will see a full live demonstration of the iplanit events and incident management module. This module is very relevant and extremely popular, and it doesn't really matter what side of the Tasman Sea you add, and it's a very popular module. This model allows you to report, track, export compliments, compliance, incidents, staff grievances, reportable incidents, anything in that way. This model can also be configured to meet your reporting requirements. So are you reporting to the Ministry of Health, or are you reporting to the NDIS Commission? So for the sake of this demonstration, both Lisa Jane and I will probably more often than not make references to the NDIS Commission. But please remember and be assured that as you do know, and if you don't know, we'll tell you again, iplanit is so configurable. So it doesn't matter if you're reporting to the Commission or the Ministry of Health or another body in the UK or in Ireland. It is that configurable that we can ensure that it speaks the correct language. So why should you consider this module a part of your iplanit suite? So if you're running your incident reports on paper and are now fully compliant to report to the Commission, you might find yourself in hot water. All Australian states and territories, apart from WA, are now under the reporting guidelines of the Commission, where serious death, serious incidents, abuse and neglect, sexual, physical assault, sexual misconduct, and the unauthorized use of restricted practices are now a registered service provider are now required to report straight to the Commission, similar to what you guys do in New Zealand to the Minister of Health. Some of the more complex matters to identify and report on and provide event summaries to a third party would be something like a pattern of abuse and maybe the use of unauthorized use of restricted practice. And these incidents that may occur on a regular basis, but having a mechanism in place to report these events is absolutely crucial. So there are a few questions that we can ask ourselves to understand where in the process that we at with our report incidents. We may be able to say, are you able to identify the possibility of abuse? Are you able to prevent it? Can you report appropriately on the allegations of abuse? So some very, very challenging things there. Have you in the past had the police involved in some of your incidents and not informed the Commission or the Ministry of Health. Is the requirement. And have you or are you able to identify pattern of abuse? And what does pattern of abuse actually mean? Where you are, how many incidents are in the 6 months or 3 months span? And do you have a reporting mechanism in picking that up? So very, very relevant topics. They've always been extremely complex and very relevant, but in this day and age, we're doing everything we can to get that. So iplanit can help, yeah. So with a single centralized point of reporting, you'll be able to have all your incidents in one spot. From the incident dashboard, you can track your incidents. You can see the status of the incidents. You can see a score of severity of the incidents that you have in there sitting. And you can see how long an incident has sat in its current status. So it's a very, very good little overview for definitely for managers. With the iplanit reporting, you're able to report on all the data that you enter into iplanit, which is great. So from a person that you support, the pattern of incidents to the location, and across the whole organization. So as a leader, as a CEO, a part of a leadership team, you do have a massive bird's eye view of what's happening in your organization. And iplanit is indeed that mechanism that the service providers needs to identify and understand what incidents have occurred. The iplanit-Organisational approach has 3 areas of service. So iplanit has support and capabilities built into it for managers, for support staff, and for the person supported and their families. And each level within iplanit has been developed to provide support and functionalities to meet the needs of these levels, so that the need of a support worker's role within iplanit is quite clearly different from the senior leadership team or from a person logging in on their side. For managers, this module is more than an incident management module. It's definitely a way of recording and tracking. There's an element of meeting compliance. There's an element of keeping your registration. There's a source of information that will determine possibly organizational change. So do you need to add more resources to a certain location because of the trend in your incident? The incident management module will be able to provide that, and will be able to provide you as an organization with learnings. So to understand your business and what drives incidents and risks and near misses and alike, you need to be able to learn from the incidents that you recorded. As a best practice policy, the review, the feedback and learnings that you get from incidents will be able to help you prepare and to implement strategies that will most likely, hopefully, go in and diffuse and minimize some of these incidents that you might have. So before I conclude this very quick, brief overview of the event and incident management module, it's important to let you know that, like all the other modules in the iplanit suite of modules, it is very much configurable. And that means that we can build a reporting form as big and small as you like. It means that we can add drop downs, multiple select, we can add free text, you name it, really to meet your needs. We have quite a good idea of what service providers are looking for, and definitely with the changing of the climate, we absolutely rather happy to also do what we call a draft of a first pass. So should you inquire this module, should you want to have a look at it, but believe that we may have templates in place that may meet the needs of an organization and the requirement, we're quite happy just to bring that forward to you, and then you can start your testing and configuration from that point. This webinar also includes the powerful reporting functionalities across the iplanit system, including this module. So the iplanit is designed to be able to report and export any data that you enter, from risks to near misses, from overdue support plans to actions, from notes and logs to staff activity, from the progress of an NDIS goal. How many goals do you have opened at the moment? How many have you achieved? How many goals haven't you achieved? And you're probably in line of having to report that through your registration. And why didn't you achieve these goals? Was it because of the person falling ill, lack of funding, or the person simply changed their mind, didn't really want to lose 5 kilos anymore? So it's okay. It's okay not to achieve things, but what's amazing is that we can actually put a mechanism in place to say, okay, no, we didn't achieve this because, and this is the reasons why. So now we have a really good reporting path following. So iplanit can provide you with exports to SL on screen, to PDF. There's even some charts. So when it comes to the incident management model, there's even some charts that can be viewed and used for your reporting. Great variety to meet the various needs that you may have, from board reports to staff supervision. So the whole suite of reports there that Lisa Jane will talk you through. From a compliance and auditing view, a service provider must adhere to certain standards and practice frameworks to operate disability services. In this instance, there's the two main bodies overseeing this are the Ministry of Health and the NDIS Commission. So the questions that you might want to ask, how are you evidencing that you are indeed meeting the standards and the frameworks for the work that you do? No doubt you providing a great service, and no doubt your clients are happy and they're staying with you, and you have the right policies in place, but is it enough, and how are you going to formally evidence it? So the KPI functionalities within the iplanit is simply as that. Is the key performance indicators, which is the standards and practice frameworks that you're meeting, achieving your work that you do within iplanit. So you may achieve someone's goals and it's relating to one of these practice standards, or you may get your reports in on time. You can see, look, I got my 5-day notification report into the commission. Absolutely, I am meeting the key performance indicators to run a disability service, and iplanit will be able to assist you with that.